Happy New Year, everybody. I am here in my office. I am seeing clients today, but I had a break, so I figured that I would take some time. I still got some of the Christmas decorations up, and so I decided I'm going to do a Facebook Live video, and I'm going to do it on New Year's resolutions. I know that's sort of cliche and that's what everybody is probably doing their blog posts on and sharing things, but the reason I want to do that is because it is cliche and it is what everybody's focused on, and it's important that we do set some New Year's resolution goals for ourselves, and really to set goals for ourselves on a consistent and regular basis. A big part of going to therapy, seeing a therapist, is working on goals. And so I'm going to talk about how to set SMART goals so that it can be a new year, new you. And so what SMART goals are goals that you set for yourself that are 5 things. So the S, so SMART starts with S, so S is specific. You want whatever goal you're setting for yourself to be specific. You don't want to say, I'll exercise more. That's not really specific. Something specific for exercising, since exercise seems to be what a lot of people set their New Year's resolution goals as. I recently heard that we should be thankful for those of us who do go to the gym on a regular basis, for people who set New Year's resolution goals to go to the gym, because they keep the cost of gym memberships down. So thank you for all of you who do sign up for the gym and then don't go on a regular basis. You help keep the cost of my gym membership down. So thank you. If you do set a goal for yourself to go to the gym as your New Year's resolution, I hope that you stick with it. And so one way you can do it is to make it specific. You can say, I'm going to join LA Fitness, or I'm going to join UFit, and I'm going to go to 2 workout classes a week, and I'm going to do cardio 3 days a week. So that would be something that was specific. And that also goes into the next one, which is M, the second one, which is measurable. You want it to be measurable. You don't want to just say, I'm going to go to the gym and leave it at that. You want to say how many times you're going to go to the gym, how many days a week, how long your workouts are going to be. Now, you don't have to get super specific and super measurable, like I'm going to do 10 minutes of a warm-up and 15 minutes of cardio and 10 minutes on my biceps and then 20 minutes on my back. If you want it to be that specific and measurable, you can, but you don't have to. But I would recommend that you, whatever your goal is, that you make it so that you can measure it, that you can write it down, you can keep track of how often you're doing that. Something even like meditation. I'm going to meditate 3 days a week for 10 minutes, or I'm going to do, so the way you can make that specific is, I'm going to do 3 meditations on a love, for instance. I'm going to do 3 meditations 3 times a week for 10 minutes on love. So that's helps with the specific and the measurable. The next one is attainable. I know we like to set lofty goals for ourselves, and I actually think that it's important that we set lofty goals for ourselves. We need to do that on a regular basis, but we also want to make sure that our goals are attainable. If you are not somebody who regularly works out, setting a goal of going to the gym 6 days a week for an hour and a half and doing CrossFit classes is probably not going to be attainable for you, and that's okay. You want to make sure that whatever goals you do set for yourself is something you're actually going to be able to attain, because if you don't attain them, you're not going to feel so great about yourself, and you're not going to feel so great about the goals that you set for yourself. And we have to celebrate our wins on a regular basis. And so if you are not a gym goer, maybe setting a goal to go to the gym 3 days a week for 45 minutes is going to be a really great beginning goal for you. And once you do that consistently for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, then you can up it and you can go to the next level and go 4 days a week for an hour. And every time that you hit that goal and hit that mark, reward yourself. Reward yourself by, you're not going to want to eat food if you're going to the gym, but maybe you could reward yourself by buying a new workout outfit, or you can just do something that is really special and specific that you like. The next one goes along with attainable, which is realistic. You want to make sure that you set realistic goals for yourself. Pull out your calendar, pull out your schedule, and take a look at when you can go to the gym, when you can meditate, when you can start meal prepping, when you can set in your New Year's resolutions into your schedule. Some weeks it's impossible for me to go to the gym, for instance, any more than 3 days a week. Why? Because I'm going to a workshop, or I have vacations planned, or I have a really hectic week at work and I know that my body's going to need some rest. And those things are perfectly okay. You want to make sure that whatever goals you set for yourself, that they're realistic and not to overexert yourself. I actually pulled out my 2018 calendar, my planner. I have a physical planner. I actually love it because it really helps me to see my weeks, and I was able to plug in where I can do certain things. So I made sure not to set up too lofty of goals for myself in terms of where I spend my time. And the last one that you want to make sure is that you have a T, that it's time oriented. It's making sure that I'm going to go to the gym, for instance, for 3 days, for 45 minutes for the next 3 weeks. So you want to make sure that there's some kind of time orientation with your goals, so that way you can measure them on a regular basis. You don't want to just say, I'm going to go to the gym for 3 days a week for 45 minutes for the next year, because you're going to want to make sure that you are hitting certain goals after certain weeks, that you're not just setting goals for yourself and ignoring them. You want to make sure that you break them up into smaller pieces and you put some time around them. If you're trying to, for instance, lose weight, you want to say, not just I'm going to lose 15 pounds. You want to say I'm going to lose 1 pound a week over the next 4 weeks, for instance, or I'm going to cut down the amount of food that I eat by 20% over the next 3 weeks. So then that way you have some smaller goals that you set up for yourself for the larger goals. So when you go to set your New Year's resolutions, you want to keep in mind 5 things. Make it SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented. And I wanted to give some ideas of some areas that you could focus on this year for goals. I know I talked a lot about health. I tend to use a lot of gym references and exercise references in my practice because it's really easy to make analogies, but there are lots of other areas that you can focus your life on. Anybody who's been to therapy with me knows I like to bring out, it's called The Pillars of a Balanced Life, and I'm going to read these off because I think that they're great. So areas you can focus on this year, I'm reading my paper, I have a cheat sheet, is professional. Maybe you're going to get a new job by a certain period of time. You're going to apply for 10 jobs within the next 2 weeks. Financial, you can save money, you can save for a goal, whether you're saving for a house, you're saving for a wedding, you're saving up for your child's education. You can set up smaller goals for yourself. I'm going to save $10 a week for the next 3 weeks, and then I'm going to raise it to $20, and then set yourself up for a yearly goal. Physical, we've talked extensively about that. Spiritual, however you want to express your spirituality, you can set some goals, whether it's meditation, going on retreats, a church attendance, anything that you connect with spiritually. Social support, maybe you haven't seen a group of friends in a couple of weeks or a couple of months or even a couple of years and you want to connect. Maybe you can set a goal to hang out with friends once a month. Intimacy, that's with your partner, relationship wise. Maybe you finally start implementing those date nights that every therapist seems to always recommend. A weekly date night is really important. Maybe you start scheduling those. Maybe you schedule for a couples retreat that you have been putting off because you have some problems in your marriage that you want to resolve. And finally, 2018 is the time that you're going to really work on this. Next is inner life. It's how you feel about yourself. Maybe your goal is to say 3 positive affirmations to yourself in the mirror every single day. It doesn't have to be something monumental that you do in order to feel better about yourself. Learning and growth. This is one of my favorite areas. I always set a number of books I want to read. This year I want to read 36 books. I sort of lost count last year. It's between somewhere like about 50 books that I read. And so this year I have a goal of 36 books. I'm going to read probably 24 for fun. I would like to read really silly novels, and then I'll read sort of 12 more serious books for either personal growth. I'm currently reading The Body Keeps the Score for my own professional growth. And the next is home. Maybe it's finally time to clean out your closet or hire a housekeeper, somebody to come in and deep clean every 2 weeks. Maybe you want to finally get some new furniture, or maybe you want to buy a house, and that can be a goal for yourself. And final, we can't forget play and fun. Make sure to schedule some time for yourself. If you want to go paddle boarding and you haven't done that in a while, or you want to go watch a comedy show, start scheduling those things for yourself now. I know that most of us just spent a lot of money on the holidays, and maybe our pockets are not as deep as we want them to be, but there are things that you can do that are low cost, that are fun. Even just going to the beach. I know even here today in Florida it's a little cold to go to the beach, but I assure you within the next couple of weeks we'll be right back to Florida weather. If you notice, I've got a sweater on. This is like the 1 month out of the year that Floridians can actually embrace a little bit of winter, which I think most people probably just consider it to be like a fall. It's 60 degrees here and rainy. This is our winter season. And so maybe we won't be able to go jet skiing or boating like a lot of people like to do down here, but that doesn't mean we can't plan fun things, maybe a day of going ice skating. Though we won't be able to go ice skating outside, we can certainly go ice skating indoors. I went ice skating a couple of weeks ago and it was a ton of fun. And so making sure that we balance all of the work that we do, going to the gym, working, meal prepping, saving with some fun. We can't be all work and no play. For those of you that have seen The Shining, which is one of the most horrifying movies, but all fun is not going to be your best plan of action. And so in order to have a balanced life, you want to make sure that you are setting goals in all of those areas that we talked about, and making sure that, once again, they are SMART goals. If anybody is looking for some help setting some goals this year, please let me know. You can send me a private message, or you can call my office to book an appointment for those of you who are looking to take your life to the next level. Happy New Year, everybody, and thanks for joining me. Bye.